Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining through. And thank you so much for creating this time to be part of the TPC weekly webinar. We are most humbled to be hosting you this evening. Today is a powerful day because we are going to speak to the mind. We're going to speak to the spirit for you to be able to get energized and see what is really stopping you from winning. So we are 22 here on the Zoom call, and I know these numbers will grow as we proceed. But I want again to thank you so much, all that have joined in, quite a lot of familiar names and familiar faces that are joining in. Thank you so much for being here. And in case there's anyone you think would benefit from this, please share with them the link so that they can be able to join. Welcome our guest speaker, Yangeni. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Samuel. How are you? Are you able to hear me?
We are able to hear you. We are yet to see your face, sir.
Okay, I see. I'm here. Let me see. Are you able to
Okay.
see my face? Let me just make sure the
Okay.
camera is on.
It's
Okay,
yes,
that's good.
exactly. We are able to see you, sir.
Okay, that's fair.
In Uganda here, when we are greeting, we say Ogamba Otia. How
Okay,
are you?
Ogamba Otia, how are you? As we say, Mlibwanji.
Ni Mwanji. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be able to learn some words along the way.
Now I
But
can see Abros is already greeting me, Mlibwanji. Bueno. Okay, just give me a second. Let me just move my device
no
somewhere.
worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much that we have a speaker here. And we have quite a number of we have an audience here as well coming from Zambia. It's very awesome. We are having our first guest speaker from Zambia, from across the world. And we have quite some people who also are joining the session from different other places. I think that is something that is really awesome. One of the goals for the TPC or the Transformation Professionals Club is to be able to connect professionals globally, because the world has evolved, that we cannot just look at our being in Uganda. There are quite a number of opportunities out there. I was speaking to a friend who is in the UK recently, and was telling me, Samuel, I see people really crying as a result of the funds freeze from USAID. But they say there are quite a number of opportunities in the UK for people who have NGO background. And I was so amazed that sometimes the reason why we see limitations is because we are limiting ourselves to our surrounding, and we are not thinking beyond that what we can do. And of course, we are just in the second month of the year, and there are quite a number of things that are happening. Some of us started with high energy, and right now the energy is getting low because the quarter is moving very fast, but we do not see the results. And we are wondering, what is the problem? Am I the problem? Is the system the problem? And even as we get into the year, it's not getting easier any day. Every day we have to just keep doing what we need to be able to do. So those are some of the conversations we are going to be doing as the introductions come through. Thank you so much, all those that are introducing themselves. Please keep the introductions coming through. One of our goals as TPC is to help you connect. So when you come for this webinar, make sure that you connect. If you're sharing your introduction, if you don't mind, you could also add a LinkedIn link such that we can be able to connect with you as well. That would really be awesome. But thank you so much, everyone that have joined in. This evening is an evening where we are really so blessed. And I said we are having a first international speaker, but we also have international guests who are part of the call. But today we're not speaking about something like maybe either public speaking or personal branding. Today we want to speak around the brain speak around how do we change our mindset, how do we make ourselves positions for success. We'll be able to tackle even those other things as well, but we want to get in there. What is really limiting us? How can we be unstoppable, and how can we be able to do things that are really what we think we should be doing? So, Yangeni, are you ready? I know you had asked for a minute.
Yes, I am ready. Just confirm you're able to see my face and able to hear my voice. Then I can share my screen.
Yes, I can be able to see your face. You can be able to share your screen.
Okay, is that okay now?
Okay.
I need just a quick edit. Let me just correct something.
It's okay. It's okay. Feel free.
Okay.
So as we have Mr. Yangeni come through, if you might, let me just try to call this. So welcome once again to this session, which is achieving business success in 2025 and beyond. So one of the things that we want to learn today is how can we win against all odds? And we are humbled to be hosting the author of Become Unstoppable, where he shares the 50 magic lessons to maximizing your hidden potential. So Yangeni is an HR manager from Zambia. He's also a board director and is also an author. He's recently appointed as a brand ambassador for the Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management.
You're very current, Samuel, eh?
He does quite a number of things, but one of the things that he does is public speaking and adding value to people. Why I connected with him, I usually connect with like-minded people who on the continent. And he's one of those people, when you go to his LinkedIn page with over 57 followers, and also going to his Facebook, he's a person who shares insights around life, personal development, that relate easily with someone. And you see, I usually like someone who shares they live what they share. So he's one of those people that I've seen. And when I thought about inviting somebody as our first international speaker, I could not think of anyone else other than Yangeni. Given he's an HR person, I know Yangeni, we have quite a number of professionals here. So there are people also who one of their objectives this year is to thrive within their career. And I know that you're a person in that space. So even as you share with us your nuggets today, where you can be able to speak to those people as well who want to get the promotions, who want to get the jobs, but want to see what can they do. So you're most welcome, Yangeni. I know you're married and you're a father to a beautiful daughter. So we are much humbled to have you. Please feel free to also share with us something else that I might have left out about you, but that's what I could find around. So you're most welcome to Uganda, and we are so much glad to have you. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. And I would like just to say thank you for this opportunity to connect and be able to tap into your audience. And indeed, this is what we need, just to help one another so that we're able to do. For the colleagues that are meeting, those from Zambia and across Africa, we're one and the same. I think I should make that very clear, that we're one and the same, and we all have one goal, and that one goal is to fight poverty. Okay, because I believe that as Africans, our biggest challenge has been to fight poverty. And poverty can be fought in all angles. The first one, of course, I will look at how can we fight it as employees, okay? Because I am an employee. At the same time, I'm an employer somewhere. So how do we balance these two? We can fight poverty, being good employees, but also I have seen, I was just sharing a note just now. There's somebody who's saying they would like to start a business this year, but they're afraid to start it because they don't want to lose their hard-earned money. So again, we want to fight poverty through being entrepreneurs and also thinking outside the box. So for me, when I was given this opportunity to speak to you, I was asking myself, how can we achieve success in 2025? But you notice that I had to add beyond 2025 because I realized we don't just want to have success that will just be sustainable within 2025, but we want it to be beyond. So if you want to write something right now, I want you just to tell yourself that you're going to win against all odds, okay? No matter what happens, just tell yourself you're going to win. Whether you win as an employee, whether you win as an employer or an entrepreneur, just tell yourself you're going to win against all odds. So I've seen we have 45 people or now 50, almost 50. I want us to be very transparent. One thing that for us to achieve success in business, we have to be transparent. Put your phone down. I don't know what you're using. If you're using your laptop, or if you're using the phone, then well and good, but don't dial your phone. I want within 30 seconds, I want to see. I don't know how good your network is somewhere there. If people were to put their videos, will it affect our connectivity?
No, some people could be in a place with an issue with the connectivity, but
Connectivity, okay.
we could have those that
Okay, those that
able
can, because
to.
I want to see their faces. I want you to don't use your phone. Okay, I'm aware that you've got Stambik in Uganda. You also
Yeah,
have
yeah,
ABSA, and I'm aware that we have some of Zambian men and women who are running the big banks right there in Uganda. So this is
exactly.
also good for me, knowing that you're not speaking to strangers. I want to send somebody some money and I want to send it from my USD account. But the catch is that we want to see how many people from this call who are able to say their full account number by heart without looking through the phone, giving us the SWIFT code, because we are sending from an international bank. We'll use my bank from the USA to see how many of us, if you are on stage today and Yangeni wants to send a $1,000, and I tell you, send me your account number by heart, not your mobile number. I know you also have the M-Pesa. Do you have the M-Pesa, the e-wallets? You have those?
We have mobile money here in
The
Uganda
mobile
through
money. We're not talking
here in
about mobile
Uganda.
money. We
Yeah.
want your full account number, okay? With the SWIFT code, with your branch code, and any detail that needs to be used when you are sending an international transfer. Within 30 seconds, let me see those who are able to say their account numbers. You can just unmute yourself or we see your video. I see Fred Unzima there. How many people who are
Cheers
able
to
to
your
do?
friends.
Okay. I can't see anybody in the chat box who's confirming that they're able to do and send us their account number. Not even just send us. We want to know, do you know? There's Obedi who's saying they know it. I Hobbit. I'll be more interested to know where is your bank? What is the branch? What are the last 4 digits? Okay. And what's the Rita committee also says they know it. Rita, if we are sending from the USA account, what SWIFT code do we use?
I am not sure, but I know for Uganda it is for centenary it is 3200 for Mbali.
Okay, Isaac will have to confirm that. We want to know who else. Victoria says she knows the account off her head. That's good. Vanessa?
Mine is BSRC UGX.
Is that a branch or what? Is that a
Absa.
bank account?
That's Absa.
Okay. Great. Can I have the fifth person? Okay, that is enough. Rona says also they know it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get these numbers. We have the 5%, 10%, and the 85%. So I want you to take note of these because at the end of this session, I will be asking you, where do you belong? Based on the question that I asked, okay? So we have the 5%, 10%, and the 85%. Okay, so before I ask this question, and I want all of us, we will select where we are, okay? When I said, let me know those who have ability to say or tell us and share their account number by heart without looking through their phone, right? Whatever audience that you're looking at, we have 5%, only 5% of the people think. This is a research, it's not me. I don't want you to say Yangeni Chendela from Zambia said we don't think at all. So it says, whenever you are in any audience of the people, only 5% of that audience are able to think. This is not very good because if you look at, we are almost 60. So we are saying 5% of 60. What's the percentage, Samuel? Samuel, you're an accountant. You're not like me, an HR.
You're saying which percentage?
5% of 60.
It's about 5% of 60 is about 3.
So we are saying only 3 people in this audience that we have are able to think. Then the research further says that only 10% of the people in any audience that you'll be addressing, and today I'm addressing you, think they think. So there are people that when I ask the question to say, do you know your account number? They know it, they know some digits here and there, but when you ask them the branch code and the SWIFT code, because this is an international transfer, they start thinking, they think they know, but they don't know the account number. Now, these are the most dangerous people for me because it is good when you say, I don't know, people will teach you. But when you think you know, it is very difficult for people to pass information to you. Now, my favorite number is 85%. When I ask this question, chances are that there are people in this group who were even asking, what's the purpose of this gentleman asking us about the account number when I don't have any money in it? What's the purpose of me having a passport when I have no plans of leaving Uganda? What's the purpose of me having a driver's license when I don't own any car at all? And moreover, I don't plan to own a car unless when I have money. So these are the 85% who do not think at all. Now, I said at the end of this conversation, you have to answer yourself, where do you belong? Do you belong to the 5%? Who know the account number by heart and they can share anytime? Or do you belong to the 10% who think they know, yet they don't know? Or do you belong to the 85% who do not think at all? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the journey of becoming unstoppable, because at the end of this session, you will be forced to know at least something that is important, which is your account number, and you'll be forced to know that having a passport shouldn't wait until the journey is pending for you to go to the USA. You have to prepare yourself before an opportunity strikes, because opportunities find those that are ready. Am I audible, Samuel? Coach Samuel, I just want to be sure. There was a time I spoke for somebody in the chat box. Can just confirm that Mr. Chendela, you are...
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
you are audible.
Okay, great.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. And I hope that by now we have selected where we belong. If we belong to the 5%, 10%, and 85%. Vanessa, would you tell me? Would you tell me the percentage where you belong to now after my explanation of the percentages? Vanessa, Rita, and Godwin, I want to know the percentages where you are.
I think
5%.
I don't know.
You are in the
5%.
5%? Okay, go. Okay.
I think I'm 10%.
I love that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, October 13th, 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 left Chile, okay, and was heading towards Argentina, okay? It was carrying 45 passengers on board, and these passengers were not just passengers. They were people who had their families in that plane, and unfortunately, the pilot miscalculated the distance. He already thought they were already approaching Argentina, and they ended up crashing in the Andes Mountains. Of the 45 passengers on board, 29 people survived the initial impact. They were stranded in the most harshest environment on Earth, without food, no heat, no way of knowing if the rescue team was coming their way. The world was unaware of the exact location. Therefore, when the search teams were flying, remember we're talking about 1972, which is almost 50 years ago. And when we're looking at technology of 2020, 25, and 1972, we all know that even the planes had challenges with technology. So the search engines flew over the mountains for days, but they saw nothing because it was impossible for them to see any survivor. When the authorities called off the search, the survivors were left with a terrible truth. And that truth was that there was no one coming to save them. 29 people still survived on the actual day. If you read about this story, it's an emotional story, but what touches me is that the 29 people started sacrificing that if I die first, you are allowed to eat my body so that you can survive. For days, these people waited and there was no help which was coming. From day 1 to the 30th day, 5 people died after the crash. And on the day 60th, these guys realized there was no help which was coming. 2 brave people, they were young men by then, Nando Parados and Roberto Canessa, they decided that no matter what happens, they were not going to touch the bodies of their relatives. Therefore, they said, since there was no help which was coming, let us go and find help. They decided to climb the mountain because they were already on top of the mountain. For 3 days, they went up the mountain, hoping that they were able to see something, then they would make a decision. Unfortunately, when they got to the top of the mountain, they realized that there was no help and they were unable to see anything. This was 63 days after the accident. They decided, should we go back to the base or we should continue trekking down? They moved until the 70th day. They were giving up. Then they came across a river and they were able to see 2 people across the river. And it was a bit in the evening. And these 2 people, because remember, these guys were coming from Uruguay, going to Chile, but they crashed in Argentina. So there was a language barrier. When they were trying to tell the people that we were the ones in that plane crash, but this is 72 days later, people have forgotten about the plane crash. They don't even know that they're survivors. They just gave them signs that we shall come tomorrow, and they left. They were so close to getting help, yet the people didn't know that these guys had survived for 72 days without food, without anything. Lucky enough, these 2 people came back the following day and they found Roberto and Parado. When they found these 2 people, they explained to them and they took them back to the base. and 16 people were able to be rescued 72 days after the plane crash. This is an emotional story that somebody may be asking, why did Mr. Chendela pick this conversation as the anchor for our topic today? We say that we want to win against all odds. 45 people were on a plane and 25 people survived the day of the crash. 29, by the way, survived the day of the crash. But by the day 72, only 16 people were able to be rescued. Everybody keeps asking, why did Roberto and Nando wait for 72 days or for 60 days before they started looking for help? We can't answer that question today, but the reality is all of us, wherever we are waiting more than 60 days before we start implementing the business ideas which we have. And unfortunately, we are waiting for somebody like Samuel or Yangeni to come and tell us that there's no one coming to save you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take on research, the recent research, there are over 258 universities across Africa right now. Zambia alone has 47 universities. I'm not sure if anyone on this call knows the exactly total of universities which Uganda has. I'll be happy to know, because Zambia has about 47 universities. Do we know the universities that are in Uganda?
They're about 45.
45. So between Uganda and Zambia, we're talking about in excess of almost, let's just say 90 universities. And across Africa alone, we have over 13 or 15 million graduates who are leaving universities into the corporate world. Now, I just mentioned to you that the competition has become stiff. It doesn't matter where you are born in Vubwi or some village in Uganda or some village in Isoka or Lusaka. Competition now cuts across continents and we can compete equally. That's why today there's a CEO from Zambia who's heading a bank in Uganda, which means that your job somewhere today is not guaranteed that nobody's going to give you competition. So if you are coming from university and you are waiting that somebody, your grandparent or your parents or your uncle, your aunt is going to connect you into a job, I want to tell you that no one is coming to save you. You are on your own. Roberto and Nando waited for 60 days for them to make a decision. And the help only came after they started making movements. Now, ask yourself, I've got a lady who said she's been thinking of doing the business. The question is, who are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the sky to turn blue or for you to have a sign? If you are a Christian, remember Jesus said that there's no sign which is coming apart from the sign which was a Jonah who went in the fish for 3 days. For you and I want you to know that there's nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. I may not be privy to the environment that are in Uganda, but with the USAID cutting the donor funds to Africa, I can tell you that some of our brothers, I've got colleagues within the human resource who have lost employment. What is that message saying today, right now? No one is coming to save you. So the question is, for all the business ideas that you've been thinking about, for all those projects that you have at work, what are you waiting for you to implement them? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share the 5 lessons that are emanating or are coming from the story of Parado and Canessa. These 2 individuals first daunting tasks, but they did not give up. Remember, I think you guys, we know that you've seen what's happening in Botswana. Who has seen the floods in Botswana? Yeah, because Africa now, because of we've seen the floods. If you've been in an accident before, You know, sometimes just the impact of a vehicle, another vehicle hitting you. Some of us wants to stay in the vehicle and waiting for a paramedic to come and save us. I want to tell you, there's nobody coming to save you. You are on your own. So the 5 lessons that we can learn from these 2 individuals, or from the 29 survivors who were on the plane. The first thing is that for Roberto and Nando, they were going to face obstacles, but they realized to say, because there was nobody was coming to save them, they kept a feeling that they didn't need to give up. Remember, I said 3 days after they went up, which was 63rd day, they found that there was no help on top of the mountain, but they didn't give up to start walking down until they found help. So I'm challenging you. If you've had a business, it has failed. If you have had one idea and it has failed, don't give up, because there's nobody coming to give you help. Help will only come when you start making the progress. I hope we have got ladies here. There's a joke that goes on Zambian socials. The guys will always tell you to say, if you find a lady, by the way, it's a disclaimer, it's a joke I found on Facebook. If you find a lady, she's single, there's nobody going after her, please, my brother, run after your life. Why is everybody not proposing her? Why should it be you? Equally, what I'm telling you, if you're not making any progress in your business, if you're not going to try to present your proposals, there's nobody who's going to buy from you, because people will be afraid to trust you because nobody else is trusting you. I think we have seen it. If you want to buy your food, you find a restaurant. If one restaurant doesn't have people, and one restaurant has long queues for the food, chances are that you end up going to a restaurant where there are a lot of people. Why? In your mind and in my mind, we think where people are queuing, that's where they have the best food. So equally, if you're not making any progress in your career, you're not advancing yourself, there's no employer who's going to look after you, because everybody will be afraid, thinking you do not have the value that they will benefit from. So the other thing that we learned from the story of Parado and Canessa is collaboration. Roberto picked his friend, who's Canessa. He did not start a journey alone. So sometimes when we're starting our business ideas, or we want to start a project, you've seen what Samuel has done. Samuel is not running the business or the project alone. He's collaborating with other individuals who are able to provide and add value. So equally, ask yourself, that business idea, that project that you're doing, don't let it just die in your head alone. Share it with somebody that you can trust so that you can collaborate, because there's power in collaboration, okay? Then the other thing that I want to inspire you with, no matter what happens to you, you may be beautiful, you may be handsome, but if you want to succeed in this life, you will face rejection. There will be, your business idea may be the one to save the world. It could be the project that will save all of us, but do not just expect that you will take it to a government institution or to some donors or investors and they'll just come, oh, Samuel, you're a good guy, this is a big project and we're going to invest in that. You will face rejection, but I want to tell you that do not give up, because most of us, what I've seen, especially in Africa, is when you just receive a rejection, then you lose even the energy. I have got colleagues in human resource, when I ask them, why are you not posting on your LinkedIn? Okay. They'll say, no, when I post, there's nobody liking my post. Why should I even post? I'm telling them, it's because you are seeing my 57,000 followers and you don't know how I've been building them for the last 10 years, because I joined LinkedIn in 2014. So now you who joined LinkedIn in January of 2025, you want to have the same reaction as somebody who's been on LinkedIn for the last 15 years. So please, you will face rejection, but don't give up, okay? Just as they never lost sight of their objective, we are to remain focused on our targets. There's always a saying that you cannot achieve things that you've not put a target on. So I'm assuming that if you want to start a business, or those who are already in business, you should have targets that you're working towards to. So you can't just be saying this year I'm going to be successful. The question is, how will you define your success? How will you know that you have gotten there? So please don't lose sight of your objective. Always remain focused towards achieving your objectives. I decided to cover my presentation in two folds. First one, I just wanted to cover generally helping any individual who may be doubting themselves, who may be a project or an assignment that have been delaying and not wanting to implement. I just wanted to tell you that there's nobody coming to save you. You are on your own. Therefore, expect to hype yourself, expect to give a pep talk to yourself. If you ever come across people like Mr. Chendela who are giving you this conversation, take it as a privilege, because majority of us, there's nobody coming to give us or to tell us, just to inspire us that it is possible and it can be done. So these are the concepts or topics that I wanted to share with you, emanating from the plane crash of 1972, which happened in Uruguay. But now, as we go forward, we said we wanted individuals to succeed against all odds. Okay, so what are the 5 steps that we're going to use, or 5 points that we're going to use to achieve success against all odds? I would like to just pause here and see if people are flowing with me, because sometimes when the spirit is flowing with me, I can go on and on and on. I just want somebody to just mention 1 or 2 points, what they have already gotten or what was not clear, before I go to 5 points to achieve success against all odds. Shola Chishimba, good to see you.
Association.
Ronald, anything you want to share from what we've been shared?
Yes, Mr. Chandler, I really do appreciate what you've shared. It's really of great value. The one thing I got is that it's a thing of collaboration and never to give up, no matter any rejection that you come across. Whatever business that you might start or what, a lot do happen with the number of people, but when they see rejection, they tend to it tends to put them on the negative side, and they end up giving up on whatever they have started.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that that the highlights that you've given us from the plane crash.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've seen a question here.
I think Rita, you could come. Rita and Shura have their hands up. So
okay, please just quickly share a point so that we can process. I just wanted to know that people are flowing so that at least it's more interactive.
So Rita, we could have you, and then Shura will come through.
You said opportunities find those who are prepared, and that we should remain focused on our goals, because when you don't have a goal, then you don't have something to aim at to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Chola Chishimba, all the way from Zambia.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. You also said when we face rejection, especially in the beginning stages, we don't have to give up, but we should remember the experience of those two from the airplane crash, like you had mentioned. They had actually told themselves that no one is coming to save us. We have to find help by ourselves. So I've also benefited because I'm just in the learning stages. Actually, I'm in the same plan. So this meeting is speaking to me directly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tim. And this is very helpful for me as a speaker, just to know that we are together and we're flowing. There's somebody who has asked a question. How can you, when you face failures towards your career? I'm covering the career as the last part because I am a passionate human resource, and someone probably didn't do justice to my profile around that. I am the highest followed HR in the country. I'm not saying the best HR, but I should be one of the best HRs in Zambia and hopefully in Africa Africa. So I enjoy human resource, and I'll be able to share some nuggets on how you can become the most sought after individual. And also, how do you handle failure? Personally, I've been fired before 3 times. So how did I survive from that? So you may want to benefit from that knowledge. But if you are not ready to survive, don't make a mistake at work, because being unemployed sometimes can just make you look like you're not organized or life is against you. Okay, so quickly, I just want to inspire somebody. How are we going to achieve success against all odds? And I want us to internalize some of these things, because somebody will be saying, Mr. Chendela, you are just saying these things. You don't know the conditions in Uganda. You don't know the conditions in Zambia. Samuel did beat me by a point. The post that he did today speaks to me. And I think he understands lesson number 44 from my book, which says that the charcoal burner's child will one day wear a white shirt. That will be my last talk today, but I just wanted to acknowledge Samuel for that poster that he did today. It's so brave of him to show us that you can be without shoes today, but doesn't mean that you end up without no shoe tomorrow. Okay, and I'm very strong with that, and that's why I'm saying somebody who's on this call, I don't want you to take this as a motivational talk. Then you go back home and say, okay, the speaker spoke well, but he doesn't understand the circumstances. What I'm sharing with you is coming from my book, and I've lived it. I've seen how it is possible to move from a 0 kwacha in your account to a 1 million kwacha in your account. It's very possible. And this is why we are sharing this story. So the first lesson that I want to speak about is that embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Most of us, when you fail your first performance appraisal, or when you fail your first job, you may think that the world is against you. Your failure in one organization does not mean that you are a bad person in another organization. I have people that we separated within one organization, and they went ahead to become the best performing employees in another organization. So what I'm teaching you is that you may fail to meet your targets today, but consider that as a learning opportunity. Many of us beat ourselves with failure. There's a guy that could have dumped you. There's a lady that could have dumped you. 15 years ago, the person that I wanted to be dating, they said that they couldn't date me because I was not their type. And today, over a sudden, I've become their type. So what are you learning? That rejection gave me a motivation to work hard, because at the end of the day, when you have certain value that you build for yourself, even those who said they are not your type, they will eventually become your type. Okay. Number 2, cultivate a growth mindset to see challenges as opportunities. I've always told people this. Whenever you see a challenge, consider it as an opportunity for you to move forward. We have now a problem with electricity in Zambia. I tell people there's a company which is celebrating because of this load shedding, because they sell LPG. For them, it is an opportunity to sell their LPG. The companies which sell solar products, when there's no electricity, they know that it's an opportunity for them. I know in Uganda, you should have these tow companies. If your company has a breakdown along the highway, there are those companies which come and pull over the vehicles. They are busy right now waiting for somebody to be involved in an accident so that they can make money. Just know every situation you see, it's an opportunity for another person. So the question I want to ask you is that, are you seeing the challenges other people are having as an opportunity for you to make money? If you're not seeing it like that, and if you're one person that you see your currents going up, then you start complaining. You see there's no water at home, then you start complaining. Then you'll be buried with complaints. This world is for those who see challenges as opportunities to make a living. Number 3, I want you to visualize success so that you create a mental blueprint for your action. What are we saying here? Right now, you may not have a $1 million or $500,000 in your account, but I want you to start visualizing yourself that you have already lived this life. I will tell you about myself. I always visualize myself. If I'm saying I'm in New York, I'm already imagining that I'm already in New York. If I say I'm in London, I always imagine that I'm in London. And that way, it helps me to work towards going to London. So if you want to live in a beautiful house, thank you to our brother there. There's a brother, is it Java? What's his name? The one who has built a beautiful retreat in Uganda. And I should tell you,
Jarvis Mugaga.
Mugaga, I'll be coming just to see that beautiful place because of what he has done. If you read his story, he said 10 years ago, that's when he started the plan. He did not have the money. If you have read the story, he did not have the money, but he had a mental blueprint of what he wanted. So ask yourself, the things that you want, that beautiful car that you want, have you written it somewhere? Is it pushing you enough that, oh, okay, this is the type of a house that I want, and it should have 4 or 5 bedrooms? Have you gone to an architecture to ask him to draw it for you? So I want you, all those goals and dreams that you have, ensure that you have a blueprint for it so that you can start your action. There's a difference between daydreaming, okay? You are not going for work and you just sit down and start daydreaming, and you are hoping that maybe a family of the rich people will come and inherit you, or maybe some people in Dubai will just get you and then your life will change. That is daydreaming. Nobody's coming to save you. You are on your own. But start visualizing your success and start working towards that success. Number 4, surround yourself with supportive, positive, and people who can encourage you, okay? And the people who can review your goals. I've often heard people saying, no, don't share too much of your goals online, or don't share with your friends. In Africa, even when you want to go out, you're trying to apply for visa, don't show people because they may give you bad luck and other things. Ladies and gentlemen, some of us, what has made us to achieve the things that we have achieved is that every time we were thinking and we had a project, we went to some people and asked them if that project was possible. Because some of the things, it is pointless for you to start working on a cure for HIV, for let's say malaria, when there's already one which is working. So you cannot reinvent the wheel. The things that you want, somebody has already done them. So therefore, surround yourself with people that you can share your ideas with so that they're able to help you and see things differently. Some of us have spent so much time thinking of a project. No, my project or my online business will take Facebook out of business. When I look at you, I'm saying you are dreaming, my friend. Think within what you're able to do. Don't just be a dreamer. Have people that will be able to criticize you and support you. But don't just broadcast to everybody, because some people, they may not see what you are able to see. The last one that I wanted to inspire you with on these ways to becoming successful again as well is that choose to become a high performer. Okay? I've always said I want somebody to write this. An exceptional performer will never lack. The odds may be against you, but if you are an exceptional performer, there will always be something for you in society. And I'm speaking this because 15, 16 years ago, when I was in uni, I was the best student in my course in human resource, okay? And because of that high performance, some company, which was then one of the biggest companies in Zambia, hired me and gave me an opportunity. And that opportunity paved the way for me to be where I am today. So if I look back, out of 200 graduates from that year, I was the first one to receive the first formal job. And when I look back, it's because I was deliberate and I was a higher performer, and it paid off. So what am I inspiring you is choose, and it's a choice actually. You have to choose to become a high performer. So somebody may be asking me, Mr. Chendela, who is a high performer? So I've listed something here just to share with you on who a high performer is. Okay, here we are. So who is the high performer? This will also cover for those that are working. I'm aware that we have colleagues who are working, and there's nothing wrong for you to be an employee, because at the end of the day, we all start from there. So we are saying a high performer is someone who goes over and above, or above and beyond, to achieve their goals and complete their tasks or assignments at work. This also applies for us who are in business. A high performer is somebody who doesn't see obstacles as a standing block, but as an opportunity for them to succeed. So this type of a person takes initiative and focuses on improving their workplace habits and behaviors so that the company or team benefits from their actions. They are considerate team players, and their superiors and colleagues can count on them. And often they take more work and leadership tasks than their role requires. So this is an high performer. So even without going so much in details, I would like to ask somebody, are you a high performer at work? Or do you wait, like when it's 17 hours? You can't wait when it's 16:55. You start wrapping your laptop so that you can knock off. When it is Saturday, you deliberately put your phone on, what do you call it? Flight mode, so that the employers may not reach you. Are you a high performer? Because remember, a high performer, no matter what happens in society, there will always be something to them, because the universe always rewards those who goes over and above. And for me, I'm very strong on this as an HR because I've seen it. The question I often ask people, somebody has told me, say, how can I be working so hard for this company when they pay me less? I'll only start working hard when they start paying more. So the question I would like to ask my colleagues here is that, do you have to be paid more for you to produce more? Or do you have to work more so that you can be paid more? I want to see the answers in your chat box. Do you have to be paid more so that you produce more? Or you have to work hard so that then you can be paid more? Which one should come first? I know most of us, we are going to answer to say we have to work hard so that we can be paid more. But the reality is that every time people are given an assignment at work, they'll always ask, is there an additional pay for this? Even before they do it, they'll always ask, is there an additional work for it? So our words and our actions are not in line. What we say and what we actually do at work is not in line. Because every time you're asked, can you cover someone is not coming? The first question you ask is, will I get overtime for it? So the question is that you have to produce. I like what somebody said, your efficiency comes first before you get paid. And that's the way it is. Okay. I have 3-4 months ago, I was speaking at one of the biggest conferences in Zambia for the Institute, Zambia Institute of Human Resource. Okay. What the institute pays us basically is just your flight ticket, your accommodation at a 5-star hotel, of course, and maybe a small token of appreciation. But when you speak at this conference, you have more than 1,000 human resource practitioners in one place, right? Greetings from Canada. Thank you so much. Yes, good to know that Canada is in the house. So you have more than 1,000 HR practitioners in one place. And when you speak here, because of the pro bono hours you have given, you have higher chances of receiving paid activities after you speak at this event. So this is what I would like to inspire you to. Do not look for money first. First, do the work and money will come next. Don't just say it on paper, but also leave it when you are at work. So now I just want to share with you, there was a survey which was done by Decipher Focus and Vision when employers were asked to say what attributes are the highest performers possess, okay? Because everybody keeps telling me, Mr. Chendela, me, I perform so well, but how come my employers can't see that? So they listed about 5 attributes that you find consistently in high performing individuals. And I want you to write these somewhere, because these are the things that are making you to earn the money that you are earning. I'm very strong on this because when people come to me and they say they want a salary adjustment, the only question I tell them is that whatever money that you are getting right now is a reflection of your performance. The employers are willing to pay anything, provided you are able to give them the value that they want. So these 5 points can help you to know why the employer is paying you the current salary that they're paying you. So number 1, What makes somebody a high performer is ability to solve problems. Okay? Employers hire us to provide solutions, ladies and gentlemen. There is no employer who hires anyone to become a problem child at work. Okay? So if you are not solving problems, you are the one bringing problems. More sick notes, coming late, your laptop is gone, you have used the laptop to pay somebody, and then you have lost the laptop, you go to the mall, they steal from you, you are bringing problem and not solving problems. So you want to be considered as a high performer. Number two, communication. People who are able to communicate properly ensure that they're able to notify their supervisors the progress where their projects are, when it's expected to be done. If there's a detour, they communicate and ensure that at every given time, they're able to notify them. These are the most sought after individuals. Communication also goes to your email. I heard someone was saying, you cannot have an email that is on sweetheart.com or at gmail.com. Have professional etiquette. You have to communicate professionally. Address people as sir and madam. You just can't call somebody, hey, Samuel, oh, you Samuel, oh, you Rita, hey, baby girl. No, you can't use those words. You have to communicate effectively and you will be considered as a high performer. Number three, self-direction. People who are self-starters, somebody who can initiate new assignment and challenges without waiting for the employer to tell them. These are the people that the society is looking for. Number four, the people who have a drive. Some of you just tell us that you are a self-starter, but you have never started work at the office. You have never even opened a session at work. You always wait for others to start. This is a challenge that I'm posing. You cannot run a business if you don't have a personal drive. So your desire to succeed goes above and beyond what is asked of them. The number five, adaptability and flexibility. The world we are living in is very agile. And now we cannot have people who are saying, no, this is the way it has been done. I cannot move. A few years ago, we saw what COVID did to us. If you cannot use Zoom today, Teams, or any other platform, and you consider yourself to be working for a corporate company, my friend, you're not working for a corporate company. You are killing yourself. You should be able to use a PowerPoint. You should be able to use your Zoom, all these online tools. Ask yourself, if you are the only one in the boardroom, are you able to switch on the TV which is in the boardroom? Can you switch on the projector? Some of you have never even bothered to check the remote at the office. You are so afraid. You always have to wait for an IT person. Employers are looking for people who are flexible and who are able to be adaptable. I would like to pause there and just sip on some water. Ladies and gentlemen, if I have any comment, any clarification that I need to make, please let me know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't tell Samuel this. I will never speak for 2 hours. My speaking time is always 45 minutes, and I always believe that it's not the quantity of what people say, but it's the quality of what we say. As we come towards the end of this conversation, I know somebody may still be wanting to hear some more. Somebody may still be asking, Mr. Chendela, can you shed more light? I want you to listen to this. We're talking about action. When your actions speak, the words are nothing. With what I've shared in the last 45 minutes, you realize to say we've covered on your ability to never give up, your ability to always face challenges and take challenges as opportunity. We've also covered on what it takes for you to become a high performer. I would love to share this with the team as I conclude. Okay? I was born in a village 950 kilometers from the city, which is CBD. And that picture there you are seeing, if you can see me, I'm the guy on the right there. Pretty much like Samuel's story. Shoes was a luxury. Sometimes I'm emotional when I'm sharing this story. But pictures speak more than the words itself, okay? Fast forward later, I was able to finish university. I'm married, happily married. I've got a child. and I work for one of the top companies in Zambia. I've written a book called Become Unstoppable, and in this book, we share the 50 magic lessons. I have flown to more than maybe 30 countries, not just countries in Africa, but across Europe and across USA and Asia. And one lesson that has stuck to me is that a charcoal burner's child will one day wear a white shirt. Regardless of the circumstances that you are born in, regardless of the opportunities which never came through, we all have ability to create a life that we desire. But this will not come without challenges. I have lost count of how many books that I've read. I read almost 3 to 4 books a month. As we are in February, I'm already on my second book for the month of February, having done 3 books in the month of January. And the question that I would like to pose to you is that, how many books have you read so far? What is it that you're doing to grow yourself? Many of us are dreaming of a life that should be glorious, for you to be able to buy an air ticket, for you to be able to do nice things for your family. But ask yourself, what are you doing? Sorry about that. I think somebody needs to check on my lights. I hope you're able to still see me. But ask yourself, what are you doing for that life that you keep wanting? What practical activities or steps are you doing just to make sure that your life is achieved as it is? I would love to go on and share a lot to inspire somebody right now, but I want you to just look at that picture and write to yourself that a charcoal burner's child will one day wear a white shirt. Most people ask me why I'm always found in white shirts. If you see me everywhere, it's a white shirt, because this is a true testimony that regardless of where you are coming from, you have potential to change your life, and you are unstoppable. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I end here. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Yangeni. Quite powerful session. And what a moment to end with sharing us this picture. There are quite a number of questions coming through in the sessions. I think there is also a hand, but you could see people are saying, wow, thank you so much, Yangeni, for this inspiration. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you have told us that we have to succeed against all odds.
Yep.
And above everything, no matter what, no one is coming to our rescue. And I resonate so much with even the story you gave us in the first side, lot. I think that's how our world looks like, that we are waiting for the government, we are waiting for the white man to come and take care of us, but we have to take the steps. We will find the support ahead of us. And I think for me, that even resonates in our professional life. Before people come to either support you or give you a hand, they need to see action. And I know that even Yangeni coming to speak to us in Uganda, he saw action. He saw a vibrant community that is yearning, that is awaiting to learn and so on. And we are here. And so whatever you're going through, I know that either it's in your career, either you've done how many interviews and you've not been able to be shortlisted for the job. If you have politics at work, or if you have family, you're not accepted, you have a background that is not really rosy, we can still succeed. So Yangeni, are you able to take some questions?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so there's some questions here that are coming through in the comments. So I'll try to read some of them. And I think one of the questions is coming from Mr. Derek Mbona, which says, how can they get your book of how to become unstoppable? How can they get online? I don't know if you just want to mention on that before we take any other question.
Okay, so I'm just typing. Actually, the good part is that I even have the hard copies within Uganda. Okay, There's a
Wow.
lady that is selling this book. I'm just typing a number here. She's from Tanzania, but right now she's in Uganda. So you can just type on WhatsApp. She should be on this call. I'd invited her to be on this call, but I've just typed the number so that you're able to get through to her. But also online, I don't want you to get from Amazon, get them from me so that you are able to have a signed one as well. So I've put the number for Mrs. Sel, who's in Uganda right now, and she has the hard copies of my book, so you're able to.
Wow.
I like what Abby Robina is saying, that I'm not waiting to be rescued. I'm going to go for it myself. That's what we want. There's another colleague who has asked that, how do I work since it's they're in government and it's more political? Yes, I'm alive to the fact that certain environments make it very difficult for us to achieve and do our work. But my comfort comes as a Christian. No matter where we are, we can make a difference and still live by our values. Okay, and somebody will be able to support you that against the all odds, you are able to stand your values and you never compromise yourself. That's the only thing that I can tell you. If everybody's stealing, doesn't mean you should also continue stealing. Somebody is also just telling me, how do you handle temptation in a capitalist economy? I am an HR, and in human resource, we have temptation to hire ghost employees and pay salaries to people. But I'll tell you, you will never have peace using other people's money. Always know, I believe Uganda supports Christianity. As a Christian, let's live by the Christian values. If it's not yours, it's not yours. Whether nobody is saying, do not steal other people's money. For me, that is my approach. And that's why those who follow me on LinkedIn, especially on Facebook, you will see me, I will tell you, I'm going to have my breakfast in South Africa. I'll go and have dinner in Dubai. I'll have it because I'm not afraid of any government worker coming to me, because I know that my money is my money. Okay. So for me, that's the advice. If you have genuine money, you will eat your food peacefully. You'll be able to share those photos without being afraid of anyone. But if you've stolen, it's very difficult for you to have that. You have a beautiful house, you will never share it anywhere on Facebook. All you'll be saying is that you have to keep it private. So it's better you earn something genuinely. Let's take the questions. Let me just see. I'll just leave you a minute, but let me find the question with you. Let me just, my wife is failing to connect power. Just give me a minute.
All right. Well done. And even as we're having this conversation, let's have the questions that are coming through. We'll be able to answer them. But I think one of the things that even Mr. Chendela shares, that being able to understand where you are as an individual I think is a powerful thing, because at the end of the day, if you do not know where you are, then that affects even where you want to go. So you need to understand where you are, your circumstances, but understanding that some of my circumstances are not going to hold me back. My circumstances do not define me. My circumstances do not limit what I can be. But one of the things you need to understand is sometimes you have to be able to know that for others, it might be just showing up. For you, it might be doing it even a double. So you need to understand that you're not coming from a privileged position. Whatever position you're coming in, you're saying, whatever position you're coming from, you're saying that no matter what, I have to make sure that I'm actually winning every day. So that is something that I know that we can be able to do. As we even have, I think there's a question here, how I would like to know if you have ever had self-doubt in your dreams, and if so, how did you make it? Mr. Yangeni will be able to share that, but maybe to just comment that sometimes our self-doubt comes because of our background or because of what we've had other people say about us. There's a common saying that someone's opinion about you does not have to become a reality. So it means that if somebody says that you not become anything in this world, or you go through a struggling situation, whatever it is, I want you to believe that you can be able to rise from wherever you are. It's not about the education you achieved. It's not about the background where you come from. It's not about whom you know. Everyone can be able to rise as long as you put in what is required. Because when you look at our country, Uganda, and I know it also relates to other countries, even Zambia, or the people who are successful do not have PhDs, do not have maybe privilege coming from privileged families. These are people who have humble backgrounds. Even Obama, who was the president, previous president, when he shares about his story, you could see a humble background. So, and you can see even Mr. Chendela sharing with us where he's coming from. When you look at the pictures and you look at the countries he's been able to go into, the stages he's been able to speak to, I think it's something that we don't really take for granted. So welcome back, Mr. Chendela. There are some questions here. So I was trying to respond to some questions from John, but you could also just share, saying, I would like to know if you have ever had self-doubt in your dreams, and if so, how did you make it through?
Like I said, we all have self-doubts. Okay, I was fired 3 times, and I wouldn't want to go in the details, but it's all because I stood on something and doubted me. Okay, between 2014 and 2016, if you count how many months which were there, for 48 months, I was supposed to have worked. Probably I only worked for 20 months. So I lost out on the other almost 2 years. And it doubted me. I asked myself, was I not good enough? But within that period, it helped me to become an entrepreneur. Probably this is something I didn't share in there. So I was forced to become an entrepreneur because I could not find work. And as I speak, I run a company called Wanga HR, which has over 55 employees. And we do self-service employees. Like if you have your airlines coming to Zambia, our staff provide services to a number of airlines. So this was as a result of me not finding work. Then I developed this. So for me, I can tell you that if you've been fired before, or today you just lost your job, take that as an opportunity, because that's the only time that your mind can be open to the world of possibilities. In my book, I've said that treat your salary as the last, every salary you get, treat it as the last income that you are earning from the employer, and you become more prudent in your life. Let's have the questions in order so that I can take 4 questions. And I have to prepare. I've got a big function tomorrow. I'm going to the 2nd largest university in Zambia, which is 500 kilometers from here. So I have to prepare for that session as well. So if we can have 5 more questions, then we can close this one here.
It's understandable. So let me just try to see who asked first. My question: how can you deal with setbacks or failure in your career journey? I believe you have had some.
I've handled that one.
Okay. Okay, I'm just looking for funds. This is really encouraging. You did well with the program. Just never give up. Thanks for that comment. Okay. If you can also, if in case you want to unmute and ask, you can just put up your hand, and we can be able to give you a go ahead. You can be able to ask directly. But I just want to pick some of the questions here. So they have already told us about the book. So make sure that you can get the book. It's a very rich book. I've been able to get insights from that book. He also has an audio version of the book. So if you are somebody who is interested in the audio version, you can be able to reach out. I know that you can be able to maybe pay through online. Somebody says, we're kindly requesting for another session with Yangeni. That is from Obedi. So Yangeni will be coming for physical masterclass. So be on the lookout for when the dates will come through. So that happens. Says, what do you do when departments don't work independently, especially HR? they can't handle grievances properly. I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Comment on that. Okay. Sometimes I do acknowledge that we have gaps within organizations, right? And some problems that we have, we cannot really give a direct answer. But I like employees who are professional. You know, when you notice that you've got a gap somewhere within an organization, you have a supervisor who can't handle something. Find ways of not making them look like they have failed, whilst you are bringing your point across that you need help in this direction. What am I saying? Wherever you work, there's a principle we say never outsmart your employers or your organization or your supervisors. You may have the most brilliant contribution, but it matters how you communicate that to your superiors. So if you have noticed that your HR has that setback, there should be channels within your organization where you're supposed to go to express that concern so that they can help the HR department. That would be my contribution. Evelyn, thank you so much for the session, how to overcome family setbacks from family progress. That's also a good question. Family setback. The good part with family is we hear in Africa, we have proverbs, very beautiful. Proverbs is one proverb where we say, blood is thicker than water, and also the arguments within a family can never make you lose the family ties, right? Yes, we have heard of families who don't want to speak to each other, but believe me, you can never undo to be a brother or sister to a brother that you are born with. So because of that bond that we share, whenever we have family setbacks, it's always good to look at the bigger picture, okay? This is my family. How can we help it? There's a topic that I usually share online also. It's about, I don't like people calling it black tax, you know? I always say, how do we manage helping our families within? Others call it the black tax. I don't call it the black because I'm a direct beneficiary of family helping family. But those helps sometimes can become a setback. You'll be helping everybody in the family. In the end, you end up becoming broke. So please always just know that have limits as you help people so that at the end of the day, you all don't become broke in your family.
All right. Thank you so much, Yangeni. I think somebody says he recently applied for a job in some East African country and was told to submit a certified cognitive evaluation report. As a professional HR, how could this be evident? This is from the Europe, right? I don't know if you've interfaced that cognitive evaluation report.
Maybe they're using a different word. Now we have a lot of aptitude tests that we're doing now in HR. So depending on the position they were applying for, sometimes we are forced to do a number of, like for instance, myself, I've been subjected to certain tests in my life where I thought it was the FBI looking for me. So sometimes it's so dependent on the job that you are applying for and why they are asking for those particular ones. But what is also very important is that now you have a right to ask the employer, how will the results of this report be used? For instance, there are certain tests that we do at my workplace. We also notify the candidates while we are conducting those tests and the usage for it. So my advice for you is that you may want to ask the usage of that so that you understand it better. I may not know exactly why they were asking for that, but it depends on the position and the company. For instance, if you're working in the office of the president, definitely the tests that they conduct are different from the tests that we conduct when you are employing auditors and the likes. Equally, when I'm employing people to work in filling stations, the tests we conduct are very different from people that are in USAID or these government NGOs projects.
Okay. So okay, some questions here. I think people are just appreciating, and I think people are also following through from YouTube. So thank you so much, those that are following. Mwaka Siami. So somebody's asking, how do we do cost-effective capitalization approaches. I don't know if you want to comment about that.
I saw that question, but I didn't really get what they were asking. Is it from the accounts point of view?
I think Vanessa is online here. Vanessa, do you want to ask that question? Do you want to unmute and ask the question? Okay, maybe I don't know if
I was like there are different approaches which people use. Like maybe if you're doing like you have a different kind of like a farm, or you have like a different water conserve something. Like how do you try to be a bit cost effective? Like in the way you buy or sell something, or like in the way you are doing a service without being all over, like, because sometimes when we are young, we just be all over. Like,
okay. I hear you. I hear you. There's a temptation to want to do a lot of businesses at a go, and I have been a victim of that. But I'll tell you, I have done barber shops, I've done saloon, I've done restaurants, but eventually you always have to find something that suits within the environment where you are in and what is able to give you a revenue. I've told people this, and I know it's controversial because we all get to be told that do something, find a job or a task that you are passionate about. Unfortunately, in Zambia, I don't know in Uganda, if I was to follow my passion of singing or writing, I may not be where I am right now. So you may not necessarily follow your passion at the beginning of your career because well and good, if you can find a job where your passion meets your job, then that's good. But there are points in life when you have to do something that you may not like so much, but it gives you the capital that you want. Then later in life, you go and do things that you're passionate about. So maybe the point I want to drive is that stay focused. Don't overcommit more than 4 or 5 things, because you may have 4 businesses, but 2 are draining you and only 2 are producing money. So you may be feeding your money into a business that necessarily doesn't need to exist. I like to end with this. We should avoid overhyping ourselves. Even on LinkedIn, you find people are using, I'm a managing director, I'm a CEO of this company, I'm a founder of this, I'm an innovator of this. These are good titles. But for me, let's avoid those big titles until a point when our businesses are able to stand and able to really face the world. Because sometimes I've seen a lot of youths, they just have an idea of forming an NGO. They've already said, I'm a founder of this. So your opportunities are missing you because you've overblown your status. People are thinking you're fine and things are okay with you, yet you need help. So even on the businesses, stay with 1 or 2 businesses, but don't be all over, because you will never really know which one is giving you an income. Okay.
All right. So thank you so much, Yangeni. Yangeni is on LinkedIn. So make sure that you go to LinkedIn and find his account. I just want to appreciate you so much for coming through all the way from Zambia. I know that there's a lot that you share even in your book. So I really recommend, since we have the opportunity, when Yangeni was starting the session, asked us how many of us are able to mention our bank accounts, including our SWIFT codes of our brains and right here. And you could see that some people, quite a number of people, were not able to, because that is not something that we have been doing. So even as we try to leave this session, I think one of the things I've seen is that Yangeni did not even say, you can't get my book in Uganda. So Yangeni was able to avail the books through somebody, and we have the books. So make sure that we utilize. Yangeni, how many copies does this lady have?
No, don't worry about the copies. Just know we have a number of copies in Uganda, in Tanzania, everywhere across the world.
Yes, yes, yes. So the copies are there. Make sure that you utilize. So this is Yangeni's LinkedIn page. So he shares content every day. He's one of those people that keep sharing. So Yangeni, somebody says they have followed you online. So thank you so
I
much.
think I got somebody, I've forgotten the name. They actually part of this call. They said we're going to be together today. We spoke
Yes.
my inbox. So thank you so much. I've forgotten the
Yes,
name.
yes, yes. So Yangeni is also on Facebook, so you can catch him on Facebook. You can be able to see also the work that he does shares. And then we can be able to, and of course, when a masterclass comes up, make sure that you utilize the opportunity. I think there's one of the things that I would say is that opportunities are not going to find you. You have to look for them.
Absolutely.
And one of the other things is that you have to start, and I keep mentioning it, even yesterday while I was having the TV show, I mentioned it, that instead of chasing, strive to start to attracting. Basically, if you are an employee who wants to be hired this year, your strategy should not just be about applying. Ask yourselves, I think it is said that quite a number of jobs are not advertised. Yep. How can you position yourself in a way that you're part of those that they reach out directly? Those that they either send emails or send LinkedIn messages to say, can we have an interview? And how does that happen? It all happens by you positioning yourself. So one of the things that I encourage you this year is position yourself through ensuring that your personal brand is top-notch. The reason why I've invited Yangeni to this session is because of his personal brand. I did not go for any HR person in Zambia. I saw his personal brand, and his personal brand resonated with the kind of message that we share in the Transformational Professionals Club. So that is one of the things that you need to encourage. I need to encourage you. And then, of course, the personal development by reading materials that add value to you, like the book of Yangeni. Make sure that you are striving to add value to you. You've heard he reads a lot. I also read a lot. I read blogs, I watch videos, I listen to podcasts. All that personal development is going to really help you. So, and I usually call them my 5 principles. So personal development, very key. Personal branding is very key. You also need to make sure that when it comes to your purpose or your passion, purpose and passion are totally two different things, but they could be related to each other. One of the things that is going to help you get into certain places is around your passion. Mr. Yangeni is not here to handle HR files. He's here to speak to us. If you want to overcome or want to win, you need to also get into your passion, because no one can chase you out of your passion. You can be chased from the job, but no one is going to chase you out of your passion, because your passion is part of you. Yesterday, while I was speaking on the television, it was not about accounting. It was about my passion of speaking. So you too, you need to understand, what is my passion? What is that thing that I can do that no one can remove from me? Because at the end of the day, when the job is not providing you what you need to be provided to, it is the passion that is going to push you. So you need to understand, what is my passion? And then how does this connect to my calling, to my purpose? Why am I here? Even in everything that you do, always ask yourself, what am I doing with this role? What is my role? Because every time you, either in your workplace, either in your family, there is a reason why you are in a certain place at a given time. And I will tell you that there are certain things that just unveil later on, and you realize, oh, I now realize why I attended this webinar. Oh, I now realize why I followed this gentleman. Now that we're having Yangeni here, now I realize why I had to follow him. Because at one point in time, we could have him as a speaker. So understand that. So your purpose, passion is very key. And then your personal finance. As you're striving to win against odds, you can't be misusing your personal finance. You have to make sure that your personal finances are in shape. Saving, investment, creating multiple income streams are all important facets of your life. So make sure that you're focusing on your personal finance. So I already spoke about personal branding. I spoke about personal development. I've spoken about purpose, passion, but I'm also saying personal finance. And above everything, I want you to also know that when everything is going on, you need to be able to put yourself in prayer. Prayer is the fifth aspect that you need to be able to involve in, because it's not going to be an easy journey. But by the help and the grace of the Lord, you're going to move through. No matter what religion you are into, there is power in a spiritual connection to be able to connect with the God that you serve. My God has been able to put me to different places. And I know that above with everything, God can never let you down. As long as you put in your work, he will make you raise above kings. Just as we've seen, we've seen Yangeni here tell us that a chapel banner's son will put on a white shirt. You could see his story. He's been able to raise over and above. So prayer is important. Now, there are also other facets that are also important that you need to be able to engage in. Of course, you need to be patient as a person. The journey to winning is not easy, but through patience, you can be able to thrive. You can be able to do all it takes to be able to get where you need to be. You need to persist. Persistence every day, showing up. Somebody says that success is 90% showing up. Being in the room when you're invited for the interview, show up. Even when you feel like there are quite a number of applicants that you'll not go through. That is within your brain. But show up, because it is through the showing up that you're going to get the grace to be able to thrive through. So you need to be able to do that. And then, of course, you also need to be, you need to look out for certain things that add value to you as an individual. The people around you, okay? The people around you, and of course, like the way I'm using P, the letter P, you can be able to remember all these. These rotate around. There's power in network. Mr. Yangeni already shared and said, we cannot do everything alone. Sometimes the reason why you're not achieving in whatever you're achieving is because you want to do life alone. And that is why we started the Transformational Professionals Club. We do not focus on any profession. We are here to be able to help you connect with other people. Because through connections, about 2 days back, even I think yesterday, somebody reached out to me and said, someone will have a vacant position. How can, do you have some CVs that you can share with me? People are not advertising their jobs. They are going through people. And when you're part of the Transformation Professionals Club, we are sharing these opportunities in there. And we know that we can be able to say, this person is part of our club, and we know them. Because I cannot know the whole world, but we can be able to be in a community that is able to know each other. So people is very important. Connect with people. The world has gone global. Right now, we have Chendela here in Uganda. You need to be in Zambia. You need to be in Kenya. I know one time I'll be flying to Zambia, maybe to be a part of a masterclass as well, just as Yangeni has come here. We need to be able to tap into opportunities. If the opportunities are limited in Uganda, we shouldn't focus on just Uganda. You need to be able, and how do you do this? Connect with people online. I've never met Yangeni in person. This is the first time we are speaking directly to each other. But what did I do? I went online, connected with him. And what else did I do? I started to position myself as a person of value in his network. That he feels we need to be able to associate. That is what happens. The reason sometimes you have people not responding to your messages, wherever you're sending them to, is because when they look at your value, they see you more from the receiving end. You're receiving, there's nothing that they feel that you can add to them. Of course, this is not something that you can plainly say that there's really nothing that somebody can get from you. There's always something, there's value that you add. But you need to position yourself to show that value that you're adding. There are people that have just intentionally bought their books because I want to connect with them. Because I know when I reach out to them and inbox them, I'll tell them, I have just read your book, and in this chapter, you've written about ABCD. Let me tell you, if somebody has written their book and you've taken their time to even read a certain chapter, they'll give you audience. That message will never go unanswered unless maybe they are busy or there's an other issue. They'll feel you're just part of them. They'll feel you're supporting them. I usually tell people that some of you want to connect with people. There are people that are so resourceful, but even when you see their posts online, you just pass by it. You do not do anything. How are you going to connect with people? Because it is those people that are going to open opportunities for you. Make sure that you make yourself relevant. There is something that you can add, even if it's a top CEO, you can add value to them. It could be just about sharing their posts. It could be about buying their book that they have written. It could be just making sure that if they organize a webinar, they have been invited somewhere, have a conversational starter that even when you're reaching out to somebody, you're like, thank you so much, Yangeni. I attended the TPC webinar where you shared ABCD. One of the things I've done ABCD. Out of that, somebody feels valuable. They feel that they have adding value to the world, and they will give you audience. That is how you connect. Relationships are built over time. You do not just land into certain rooms. You have to build connections. I'll tell you that for me to have some appearances, maybe to be part of certain webinars or even speaking engagements, I have been intentional connecting with certain kind of people, because I know this one will be able to bring me to another person who can be benefit from my programs. That's how the world works. And that's how somebody's been able to open opportunities. And like, Samuel, we have this show? Can you come and speak? We have this opportunity. Are you available? And you're like, by the time you share about it, people are like, where did this all come from? Because people saw value. What are you valuable? Some of you know a lot in your brain, but even making a single post on a weekly basis, you can't make it. All you do, you are a consumer, you're not a producer. I'll tell you that every time you position yourself in the market as somebody who is a consumer, people will look at you as a receiver. They will not look at you as a giver. Because what happens is there are opportunities that are only going to come through giving. You need to be able to give. Yangeni already told us that there are times where he goes to speak without being paid. I did not pay Yangeni to come and speak today, but he has created time. If you're to have a one-on-one with Yangeni, it will be very expensive, but he's here to share. But you do not know what kind of opportunities can come from these relationships. So you have to make sure that you do not despise any person you meet. Like I've told you, there's a reason why you are in this place. There's a reason why you've been able to join in this session. Do not live the same. Do not just join any session and just get out. One of the things I've continuously done is to make sure that whenever I get to any place, even if it's a webinar, make sure that you're positioning yourself. It could be through participation. Now, because of the people that have participated, I can remember some of their names. But if you've not liked, you've not commented, you've not made any suggestion, you've not even introduced yourself, no one will remember you. I'll tell you what, when opportunities show up, when somebody reaches out to me and says, Samuel, I have this opportunity. Do you know any person who can do it? The people that I will remember, I will think about are the people I've talked up to in the last 1 month, or the people who I've exchanged with. There's a gentleman who just reached out to me and like, Samuel, I lost my job in this period a year ago. I do not have this job. And I was like, where have you been? There was actually an opportunity that came through and you could have taken it, but it's because I did not know even about what you were going through. So in positioning yourself, you need to be able to put yourself out, show up, be visible. Make sure that you're putting yourself, when people post content online, you're showing visibility, because people will think about people they have seen in the last period. So you do not need to limit yourself from the perspective that, for me, I'm not even so knowledgeable. What would they benefit? You have to show up, because that's how the world works. The world is a noisy place, that it is only those that are visible that are able to tap into opportunities. Many times how I'm able to get into certain places is about because I'm visible, I'm showing up. Yesterday when I was having the TV show, when we were done, my hosts told me, the time we invited you and you're not able to come, maybe, and you had a busy work schedule, we felt disappointed because we really wanted you to have to be in that session. Then they made a statement and said, but because we see your passion, because we see what you share online, and we see your ideas, whatever you share, we felt we would give you a chance. That is what happens. Even when you show up for an interview, you may not be the best candidate, but they say, because you came dressed so smartly, because you came and you're very social, we are going to hire you. There is something that you have that is over and above other people. That is your leverage. Your leverage could be speaking. You are a good orator. Your leverage could be writing. Start writing. Let people see your pieces. Your gift could be in the way you relate with people. Some of us are introverts. We're not able to relate and build relationships. And the best we can do is maybe write. So through the writing, somebody is able to connect with you. Start from somewhere. Just start from somewhere. Some of you spoke about self-doubt. I'll tell you that every day I doubt myself. So self-doubt is for everyone. Every day we doubt ourselves. But what happens? We raise above our fears. We raise above our self-doubts. People will speak you down. There are people who will be like, I don't like that guy. I don't like the way he speaks. People that you've not done anything to, but they just don't like you. And I'll tell you, in this world, you'll never be liked by anyone, everyone. As you progress, even your number of enemies will progress. And that's how the world works. So you shouldn't be discouraged to say because somebody spoke something against you. We have bosses that speak ill about us. Just like Yangeni, I also one time nearly lost my job, not once, not twice, because somebody does not understand you. There are times when we are doing this kind of work that we are doing and people are like, these people waste a lot of time. They think they're the ones that know much. But we are in our mission, we are in our service, we are serving. So you too, you shouldn't be discouraged by what other people say about them, about you. But you have to believe in yourself. I said you believe in yourself first before others believe in you. There are opportunities. There's a time when an opportunity was advertised in our organization. And I did not have what it takes to get that position. There were even other people who were more qualified than me in the organization. But I said, I'm going to apply for it. And when I applied, I got into the interview room and they told me that, yes, we've interviewed you and we have this opportunity, but there is also another opportunity that we're about to advertise. But since you applied and you've come for the interview, we would like to offer you that opportunity. Would you take it up? It was the same position, but different locations. So if I didn't apply, many of you have made yourselves discouraged, thinking like, I cannot get into such organizations. You need connections to get into such organizations. I'll tell you, 5 people will have connections, but they will need the 6th person who will enter without any connection. You have to show up. You have to keep applying because even God will bless you when you've done something. You can't say, I'm not going to show up for that interview. I'm not going to even apply. Showing up is 90% the reason why some people are ahead of other people. Some of us post content online and it's 1 or 2 likes, but we are showing up. There are people who are watching what you're doing. And I'll tell you that if it's an online space, the people who are going to give you opportunities are not even, do not comment, do not like. So what that does mean? It means that you have to keep showing up. You have to keep doing your best because it's through that showing up and doing your best that you're able to succeed. Because at the end of the day, this world is so noisy that you can never succeed in this world unless you're intentional. I'll tell you that there will be times where it will only be about you. There are times where you'll feel like giving up because no one understands you. There are times when you give something your best, but the result will come out not good. That is the moment when you need to speak to yourself. That is the moment when you need to speak to your heart. I have gone through circumstances. I've shared part of my story earlier on, but I'll tell you that even going to university, even getting a university degree was not something that I could even think about because my parents could not afford school fee. They told me, this is your last class. I nearly ended in senior 4 because they were taking me to a vocational institute because already I had siblings that were studying and they told me, your siblings have to study and find you where you are. But because I knew I could change my story, when I went to high school as somebody who was not so good in my academics, I even got warning letters. But when I saw the best students, I was like, I can be them. And that starts from your brain. When you see some people advancing in their careers, believe and say, I can also do it. I can also get there. That will propel you. One of the things I've come to appreciate that there is, whatever you're seeing, there are principles behind it. Whoever is advancing, there are principles to it. Whoever has money, there are principles to it. And those principles are either written in books, those principles are either in videos, but they are there. There's a reason why some people are going to be hired. Some of you, your aspirations are to get jobs this year. But even when it comes to applications, you're not thinking about the noise that is in the process of applications. You're applying for a job, but you know that this job, by the way it has been circulated, over 500 people can apply for this job, but they only want one candidate. Just ask yourself and say, what is that one thing that I'm going to put in my CV or I'm going to put in my cover letter that whoever will see my CV will feel this is the person we are looking for. Even before they interview me, they will feel this is the person we are looking for. Whenever you see, I might spoke about leverage. Whenever you see an opportunity and you say, I have what it takes for this opportunity, there is that one thing that you know, if I included it, it will put me forward. I usually tell people that when you're designing your professional summary, do not start with things that disadvantage you. If the job says we need somebody who has a master's and you do not have a master's, you can't be starting by telling us that you have a bachelor's degree because already the mind will be, this person does not have qualifications. There's this guy whom we are recruiting, he had a diploma, but he was very bright. His professional summary did not speak about a diploma. When it came to the way he arranged his CV, he started with a professional experience. He told us about organizations he had worked. He was a manager, he was assistant director, quite great positions he held. He had achievements right there in his CV. By the time you get down to the bottom where you see the education, you're already convinced by what is up. Do not start with something that disadvantages you. Even when introducing yourself, some of you are public speakers and the first thing you mention and say, I'm an introvert, I'm not good at public speaking, I have a cough. So you're already discouraged. And I'll tell you that whenever you start with the disadvantage, people will give focus to that disadvantage. Make sure that you start with your advantage. You show up in your advantage. And that's why I spoke about your passion. Some of you, the things that are going to change your life are not is not your job. It's not your academics. It's your passion. What are you passionate about? We're in this early age where people lost their jobs. but they are waiting for the next opportunity, and they are not thinking about what else can I do with my time. I have this experience with me. What can I do? There's somebody who reached out to me and said, but Samuel, I do not have any experience in this field. I know you've advertised about the auditor job. Can I apply? I told them, what do you have? They told me we have done some training. There was a part of an academy where they trained us, but I also studied these things. I told them, please apply. Showcase some of the things that you've been able to do. Why do you think they should hire you and not hire somebody who has actually done the work? That is where everything rotates from. So you need to be able to position yourself and understand that this world is a survival for the fittest. The businesses that you're entering in or that you're in already, there are people who are showing up every day. There are people who are waking up every morning at 4 p.m. to just be there. Because what is happening is whoever shows up, they say the early bird catches the one. Whoever shows up is able to take. That's the reason why they will tell you that only 1% of the people on LinkedIn make posts. And those are the people that tap into the opportunities. When somebody is looking for an employee, they'll go to LinkedIn. And you know what LinkedIn does? Some of you have accounts on LinkedIn that you've never posted, you've never liked, you've never commented. Do you know what the LinkedIn algorithm thinks of you? Thinks of you as a scammer, thinks of you as somebody who is no longer existing, thinks of you as somebody who has, who is there. But when you make a post, because LinkedIn has this platform for recruiters, that a recruiter can be able to go and use it to be able, for example, if I'm interested in accountants, so I can go to LinkedIn, there's a platform where to give you which position are you looking for, how many years of experience, and LinkedIn will make a run of the system, of its system, and be able to give you maybe top 5 candidates in Uganda that match your requirements. So what that means is that if you are a candidate who is on LinkedIn, who has that profile, and you've never done anything with your account, the algorithm will not be able to favor you, because the algorithm does not want to recommend candidates who are not existent, because the model works in a way that when it recommends candidates, it recommends 5 candidates, they are existing, they have whatever it takes. It means that the recruiters will continue to use the application and the company will make money. So it means that if you do not have your LinkedIn profile updated, if you do not have, let's say, you do not post, you do not comment, LinkedIn will classify you in a suspicious account category. So you see how you could be missing out opportunities. So, and that's why I say that for everything that we know, there are principles to it. You need always ask yourself, why is it that people say, when you visit their profiles, they say, I got this job from LinkedIn. LinkedIn helped me to find the job. How? Before you say that those things do not work, ask yourself, what is the system behind? And that is why I'm always obedient to listen to people. In case they have put up a webinar or they are going to speak about marketing, whatever, please just, if you can, and somebody has done something, leave these people who are just speaking about things that they have not used before. If somebody has done something and you've seen them progress and they are willing to give you audience, or they're even willing to be part of a webinar, go and attend that webinar, because there is something that you're going to learn from them. There is something that you're going to be able to pick from that session. You're going to be able to be inspired, because there are certain things that you'll not find anywhere, that people will not talk about. You only get them in there. So that is how the world works. So I want to say that whoever is going to take you from where you are is you. It's not your family, it's not your wife, it's not your girlfriend or your boyfriend, it's not your children, it is you. You have to make the decision and say, from today, I'm going to be better. This year, I need to find a new job. And even if I do not find a new job, I need to be a thought leader. People need to start speaking about me in rooms where I'm not. I need to be known as one of the accountants that are in this country. Some of you have people in your network who do not know even what you studied. They even do not know what you're doing because you do not, your status keeps on sharing only funny things. Start sharing with us quotes and say, this is an accounting tip. This is how you need to be able to do. Share with us tips around your profession, such that when I'm thinking about somebody who is a medical doctor, or I'm trying to think about somebody who is into either radio or quality assurance, or somebody who is an accountant, I can easily remember you. I can easily think about you. That is how opportunities are. People always think about those people whom they have had in the last, or they have seen, they say, people are watching. There's somebody who is watching. And that person will open an opportunity for you. So I want to appreciate everyone for joining through this session. I know that you sacrifice a lot to be part of this session. And as TPC, the Transformation Professionals Club, one of our commitments is we'll keep showing up. This is our, I think, 7th, if not 8th webinar that we've had this year, which means that you have over quite a number of videos that you can be able to tap on from our YouTube channel. And if you're not a part of our WhatsApp group, I want to encourage you that please make sure that you're part of our WhatsApp group. Our WhatsApp group, which is the larger TPC community, make sure that you join. We also have the membership community, which is for those that subscribe to become TPC members. And in there, you have more support from mentors, because we have mentors within that platform that support you, that share content. We also have exclusive sessions just for members. We recently had a session, I think that was on Wednesday. We had a session which was exclusively just for members. Make sure that you subscribe so that we are able to. And when you're also a member, you also have easy access to the mentors. Means that you can send a message and the mentor will create time for you. So that is what happens. But we really appreciate you being part of this. And as you could see, those are our numbers. The WhatsApp is +256 +25670 380 3255 +256 70 380 3255. We are a global community, meaning we are not limited to any country. We are also multi-profession, means that any profession is welcome into the club, because we believe that when we have quite a number of professionals into the same space, we can be able to benefit from each other. One of the things that we do as part of TPC is we connect. And that's the reason why we add you to a community. That is the reason why we hold these different sessions. We even planning for a physical masterclass. We are already confirming, so we'll be able to share the details within the WhatsApp group. Make sure that you look out. We're going to be having these physical masterclasses often, where we invite speakers to be able to come and speak to us. So it's very important for you to be able to remain connected. The other aspect is learning. So we're going to be able to learn quite a number of things because it is through learning that you're able to grow and you're able to start earning. So learning, we're going to learn from mentors on aspects of career, business, personal finance, things that build us. I know you studied either medicine or you studied whatever you studied. Now you need to be able to come and study the things that are running the world. So when it comes to things like public speaking, personal branding, whatever, those are things that we didn't study in school, but are now relevant. And that's what we do under learning. So the master classes that we do, these webinars that we do every Friday, make sure that you join in. There's sometimes when we could have the webinars earlier in the week, but those we keep on communicating. So make sure that you're in there. And then, of course, our desire is to see you grow. You can't be spending 2 hours here without growing. And that is why I encourage you, after this webinar, go and do something different. It could be writing down that goal or commitment. It could be talking to a friend who is doing something that you feel you need to do. It could be listening to a podcast. It could be looking around and say, this gentleman Yangeni, he has shared quite a great content. Has he done some other videos online? So you go to YouTube and search for him and find him. This guy quote Samuel, but does he have a YouTube channel? You go to the YouTube channel. I have over 100 videos plus that I've been able to make on different topics. So you need to make sure that you're positioning yourself, because it's through that positioning yourself that you'll be able to stay ahead of other people. So thank you so much for being part of this session, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Make sure that you're part of TPC. Tell other people about the Transformation Professionals Club. We want to make sure that that WhatsApp group is 1,000 members by the end of March. So be our ambassadors. Make sure that you're sharing the link to other people. Let them be part of this awesome WhatsApp group where we share, we connect, we learn, we grow, and earn together. At the end of the day, we are the Transformation Professionals Club, and we are not leaving anything to chances. We want to be able to take control of our lives. We want to make sure that we are taking control of our finances. We want to make sure that we are in charge of our careers, because the world, whatever is ahead of us, is uncertain. But what is going to make us stay different is making sure that every day we are transforming ourselves. Every day we are making ourselves to be not just dependent on the job, but we are creating opportunities for ourselves. Because if the job does not come, does it mean it's the end of the world? Does it mean that we are going to die poor? Does it mean that our children are not going to go through good schools or a good life? Does it mean that we are just going to regret all our lives? No, that is not how the life works. So I encourage you to continuously believe in yourself. Do not listen to the naysayers. Make sure that you're believing in yourself. Even when no one is believing in you, say, I'm going to do it. Either I have a diploma, either I have a certificate, either I'm just starting, I ended in senior 6, you can do it. Because there are quite a number of people who even do not have what you have that are doing it. And because of that, you too can also do it. So thank you so much. Please, if you want to follow me, you can follow me all on my social media platforms. Either it is X, either it is LinkedIn, either it is YouTube, either it is TikTok, either it is Instagram. I've decided to show up on those different spaces, and you'll be able to see my content come through every day. So thank you so much. And I want to say that may God bless you in your endeavors. Bye-bye.